this world stars. But the bigger star that I was shooting for was the star that the creator of the heavens and the earth would acquaint me with. And as the people of God, if you all don't think you're the people of God, then you need to reacquaint yourself with a new thought process. There's no way you've been through what you're going through in Ferguson and St. Louis and not acquainting yourself with some part of the scriptures that's playing out. And you all are being actually rewarded, even through the pain, to let you know how special you are in the time of God. I'm a nobody, but I know one thing, y'all somebody. Let's bring up Lord James.
All right. So once again, I want to thank y'all. I want to always start off with that because without you all, of course, this would be an empty venue and I would be sitting here with this dumb. So I really appreciate you all the support. For the people that constantly share their flyer, or for the people that are constantly bugged about sharing their flyer, I really appreciate that. This means a lot to me. D.O.P.E was started once we went to Louisville. It was actually weird because we were sitting in the limo and she had on a dope hat. And I looked at it and I'm just sitting there thinking like, we are here talking to young kids about empowerment and about the things that have been going on in Ferguson, but at the same time, I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. So I'm looking at it and how can I put a turn on this? How can I put a twist on this to make people feel that you can be a part of anything that you want to be a part of? Because there was times when I was out there protesting and people told me, oh, you wrong for protesting, or why are you doing this? Why y'all turning up y'all community? Well, if you give us time to speak, and give us time to live our voices, then you will understand why we're out there every single day protesting. We are now a part of history, as I constantly have to tell people. I'm very amazed and very overwhelmed to now say that I might just be in a history book. My kids and their kids are going to start reading about me just because of what's happening here. And it's very uplifting. So as we sat in that limo, and I looked at her head, of course she was like, why you keep looking at me? You know what I'm saying? Any person. And I'm just staring off in the days. And I was like, you know what? We can take that, we can twist it. She's like, how? I'm like, you know what? We're determined young women. The reason why is because we're able to do anything that we put our minds to. We are opportunists. Because we have every resource known to man in order to be whatever we want to be. And we are powerful because we stand alone and we stand firm and we do not let anything deter us from the path we are set to be on. We are educators because we are able to teach the young kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-year-olds, about how to stand strong in your faith, in school, or out in your community. You do not have to be a follower. You can always be a leader. There's a leader in everyone. You just have to find it within yourself. So when I started this movement, I thought about every young kid, and I even thought about myself. Because in school, y'all was popular. You know, I used to hang out with all the little cool kids. But I always used to think, like, I'm following behind them. Like, I want to do everything they're doing because they're in a higher grade or because there's a lot of people that surround themselves around them. But then I'm like, on top of that, who am I? It took me a long time to find myself. And with the help of my family, such as my aunt who's in the crowd and my mother who is right here always supporting me, I had to think like, my mother and my aunt and my grandmother and the rest of my family members, they raised me to stand out. They raised me to be my own individual person and to adapt to any situation, but to always handle business first and play later. So when I created this movement, I wanted her and myself to understand that even though we are out talking to the kids, that this is still a business situation in the sense of we might not be writing no checks and passing them off hand by hand, but we're writing with our voices and we're passing whatever strength and whatever knowledge we have to you. So, as you see, why she keeps hugging me so much, it's because I constantly hear her always tell me that you so strong, or you so uplifting. I've never had a friend like you. I'm so glad I met you. And I don't want to be cocky with it, so I say, you know what, that's what friends are for. I'm not here to be showboasty, I'm not here to brag, I'm not here to nag on you. I mean, yes, I nag on her just like I do everybody else. I'm going to tell you when you're wrong, because guess what, nobody in my life ever gave me slack. They always told me when I was wrong, whether I liked it or not. They always came to my face and let me know what was up, regardless of how I felt about it in the end. So that's what I do to her. I treat her like she's my own flesh and blood. Because in the end, that's all you got. Is either yourself or for somebody that you know heart to heart, that y'all can express everything to. So D.O.P.E, it means a lot more to us. And when she constantly says that I'm strong, I try to figure out how am I so strong when every day I want to break down and cry. How am I so strong when I'm constantly trying to fight back my tears? Or I'm constantly watching all these young kids get murdered, or all these young men just getting slain and just beaten up by the police for no reason. It's crazy, it's ridiculous. And it's to the point where now I'm upset, and when I get upset, I throw a big tantrum, and when I throw a big tantrum, big things happen. So this basically right here, this thought movement, this is my tantrum that I'm throwing across the world. So, all of this stuff that we're doing right now, this is just the beginning. When we went to Louisville, I realized that we can take this across any state, and people are going to listen, because guess what? What you see is what you get. Whether you like me or not, this is how I am, so you're going to accept me or you're not. So, this is exactly why we started the D.O.P.E movement. So I'll let her go ahead and finish it up.
For me, as a childhood life, yeah, I was a comedian. But when I was little, I was a little lame little kid that did robotics and stayed to herself. Believe it or not. But I had to realize that, you know, you can't follow what everybody else doing. You can't be the one to stoop lower than everybody else. You gotta be the one ahead of the pack. Because, like I know, whoever run with the wolves, don't eat with the wolves. That's right. So you run with the idiots, what you think you are? You shoot this guy, where you think you going? What you need? So I just feel like it's too many lives being taken out here. You know what I mean? And we gotta do something. We gotta let somebody know. And somebody gotta let somebody else know. That's how it all started, word of mouth. That's how religion is. When you in church, what your pastor tell you? Go out and tell your friends. Tell your uncle, baby, daddy, mom. That's what you gotta do, you know what I mean? Because nobody is actually going to listen to you unless you actually show them this is real, unless they can see it with their own eyes on TV. And media portrays everything the wrong way. First of all, they'll say, oh, he stabbed him, but the real dude is the one that actually is the one that's running away.
Exactly.
So, I just feel like everybody needs V8 on top of their head to realize what is going on. For real, like, have you seen the signs? What is that? Wake up. Who woke up? I know everybody else in here did. But who else did? That's why we need to let everybody know. That's why we're trying to start this movement and get it moving. Alright.
Hello, sis.
But I'm a comedian, you know. But I can speak that real when I feel like getting deep in thoughts.
See, I knew she was going to take the mic as I did that one.
We're almost wrapping up, but there's a few other things that we just want to go through as it relates to this spirit building theme and this process. I want you all to understand what you're really witnessing tonight, what you've been witnessing since August to now, and even before then. The Creator is starting to create emerging leaders. Those young brothers in the back, those sisters in the back, these young ones right here, Whether you all understand that or not, it doesn't make a difference. He does not care. If some don't want to get out of the way for these young lions and lionesses to take the stage to show that there's a new day on the horizon. And so how do you know that the Creator's starting to evolve this process? But he's not going, because he's not going to allow them to become young emerging leaders, because the bottom line is you can't take a lightweight challenge to prove God. You got to take some heavyweight challenges to prove God. And the first thing you got to do is not be no punk and feel the Spirit of God through pain and actually start to create the D.O.P.E movement, which is determined, opportunists, powerful educators, and everybody that's putting their heart and souls into it as young people. We got to recognize in this room that there's a new day on the horizon. It's 2015. It's January the 10th. And guess